You're listening to the REI Marketing Weekly, and I'm your host, Josh Culler. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about how you should be utilizing social media as a real estate investor. To be clear, I'm going to lay the groundwork here. You're not an educator, you're not an influencer, you're not somebody that has a coaching program or anything like that. Maybe you do, but you're trying to leverage social media specifically to generate motivated seller leads. How should you be treating social media? Obviously, it's a given. Like your favorite influencer, the Alex Hormozis of the world, the Ryan Pinedas of the world, Steve Trangs, everybody else that's putting out daily social media content, Grant Cardone, Gary Vaynerchuk, stuff like that. Their purpose, their intended purpose, let's just to be clear on the reason why they're putting social media content out is not to generate motivated seller leads. It's to generate leads for a product that can be repeatable at any given moment. With motivated seller leads, the approach has to be a lot different. I've talked about this a couple times on a couple of the previous episodes. Last episode, we talked about how to create topics for videos. If you're a motivated seller lead marketer, if that's what you're trying to go after, you're an active wholesaler trying to do marketing for that purpose. And then before that, we talked about the power of video and content and that sort of thing for active real estate investors. So the natural next progression is social media. Like, what am I doing on social media? Why do I even need to take part in it? It's something that I don't enjoy, or it's something that I haven't really invested time into because I don't really know what to do with it. So today we're going to answer all those questions for you. And if we don't answer them for you, then you can always reach out to me and we can hop on a call to discuss them even further. So here's the thing. With social media, yes, again, like I mentioned with influencers, you can be that person that's putting out daily social media videos 2 times a day, 3 times a day. Like Gary Vaynerchuk preaches, like put out 10 pieces of content every single day and across all the platforms. And then, that's what it is. That's day trading attention and that sort of thing, which I agree with him in some standpoints. I really do believe there's a conversation to have about giving yourself enough at-bats. However, in the world of marketing for motivated seller leads specifically, that's what we're going to be going after today. It's all about answering questions to your motivated seller leads and getting those questions answered in front of them at the right moment. However, you've got to remember, if you post a video today on your Facebook page, let's just take, for example, you're on your Facebook business page, you post a video there. Maybe you're doing a video specifically on, the difference between a wholesaler and a realtor. And that's the video you put out on Facebook today. There might be a chance that maybe someone sees it that needs it at that given time, but then maybe someone down the road 2 or 3 months later sees it because they were scrolling through your Facebook page because they got hit maybe with one of your TV ads, or they got hit with a PPC campaign that you were running or whatever it is, and they wanted to go check you out and spot check you because leads will do that. They go check that out, they see that video, and then boom, they're all their questions are answered, and now they're highly more likely to talk to you about working with you and your services and selling their house to you. That's kind of the intended purpose here. Now, that leads to the question of like, well, if you put out daily social media content on your pages, is that going to generate enough content out there to be able to get in front of people at any given moment? We also have to look back at, and the answer to that question is we have to look back at what the purpose of the social media campaigns are for in the first place. Now, this is separate from paid advertising. If you're interested in paid advertising for Facebook leads, go check out the previous episode that we published on Tuesday with Brandon Bateman. Fantastic episode talking about SEO, PPC, Facebook ads, generating leads through paid media. And that'll answer your questions there. Specifically on the organic side, really in a nutshell, and I hate saying it this way, right? Like as a marketer, it's really easy for us to use the terms brand awareness or awareness of content and that sort of thing. But in all actuality, that's really the intended purpose that you're going to be going after. Because you know for a fact that if you market to a motivated seller lead, you have a good brand, a brand that's reputable and it's put out there, they're still going to go check you out on all of your platforms. The natural first progression is checking you on your website. But the difference is that people don't think about it this way, but they have it in the back of their head. It's a subconscious thought that you control your website. You control the content on your website. Your Facebook page, sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. The stuff that's on your website, that's going to be all your best stuff. That's going to be everything out there, all your best reviews. You're going to publish those on the bottom of your page, all your best video content, that sort of thing. It's all going to be there. Everything that you can do for them. Google My Business, Facebook page, people can rate those pages like 1 star. They can give you horrible reviews if they wanted to. You don't have control over that unless, of course, that's dictated on the service you're able to provide them and that sort of thing. So people naturally will think about that next. They're going to go to your Google My Business page. They're going to go to your Facebook page and see if there's any bad reviews. Then they're going to go check out like, okay, is this spam? Is this a scam at all? Is this real? They're going to want to check out some media of you. Even if they're not watching all of your videos, the fact that they're watching your videos will encourage or discourage them to work with you. So putting out the proper social media video content or content in general is going to really help relay that enforced encouragement for them to work with you. That's the purpose of what we're trying to achieve here. So on the previous episode that I did for a solo episode talking about video topics, what to do and that sort of thing, that really helped kind of like give you guidance on what to put out on social media. However, we're here to tell you kind of like the direction in which you should be treating social media. So the way that you're treating your social media, now let's kind of lay the landscape here, is that you're trying to put out content on your business pages. Obviously, it's a given if you have personal profiles and that sort of thing. Could you be generating motivated seller leads off that? Sure, but not really. Really what you would leverage that for is a personal brand to develop relationships with other wholesalers, realtors, or other people that can bring you, maybe your friends and family that can, if they know Bob that's down the street that needs to sell his house, they're going to refer him to you, that sort of thing. That's cool and all, but that's not scalable. That's not going to be something that's going to happen frequently. Networking with wholesalers, realtors, that sort of thing, that can be scalable, but that's a different topic that we're going to be talking about later on. When it comes to your business pages, which you should be taking seriously on, especially your Facebook page, especially your Google My Business page, your website, I even go as far as saying your YouTube channel. Build out a full-blown YouTube channel that's going to help you on the SEO side of things with your website. This is the type of social media that you're putting out. You have clips. Now, obviously in today's day and age, like the short 60-second Instagram Reels and TikTok style videos, that's what generally works at the given moment. But there's all kinds of other types of media that you can put out there on your social pages. I know a lot of people that do really well with putting out before and after pictures. If you're a fix and flipper, put a before picture, after picture, and put that up there, and then talk about how you were able to transform this project from X to Y, and then you finished with Z and that sort of thing, and shake out all the case study details and that sort of thing. That's the type of content that works really, really well. Obviously, if you're going to do short form video content, TikTok or Instagram Reels style videos, the principles still stay the same. You're still basically, again, my definition of content marketing is answering questions that your demographic have about what it is you do, your services, and the industry, how you operate, who you are, that sort of thing. You're just answering questions. That's really all it comes down to. And you're just putting it on video while you're doing that. It's no different than what I'm doing right now. I've had plenty of people. In fact, I went to lunch yesterday with a friend that's from Kansas City, and he was asking me the question that I'm answering today. He asked me this at lunch, and I gave him everything that I'm giving you right now. I'm answering a question. That's literally what content is. That's the way you approach your social media when you're marketing for motivated seller leads. And to be clear also, those videos, you should be, treating them as marketing specifically. You're not trying to generate 100,000 views on a video organically, go viral, stuff like that. Does that help you close deals? There's an argument that you could say, yeah, because it's getting in front of more eyeballs, but you want to make sure that it's getting in front of the right eyeballs. Now, when you post organically, you're not going to be able to determine and dictate exactly where that video is going. However, something that's really, really nice to think about is if a video does do well and it's getting some good traction, some good viewership, that sort of thing, boost that post. This is something that, I know several people, there's clients of mine that do this. I even manage this for some people, is if a video is doing really well and it's getting some good traction, good feedback, that sort of thing, you posted it and it got, a few thousand views, boost the post, spend $100 or $200 on that post to get in front of another few thousand people. Then you can dictate the geographic location in which that post gets boosted. So again, if I'm putting a video out that's how the difference between a wholesaler and a realtor, and that video does well, gets a lot of good traction, gets a lot of good feedback, I might put another $200. I posted that organically. Now I'm going to take that into the paid traffic media, and I'm going to spend $200 to boost that post. But when I boost that post, I can calculate and generate the audience geographically. And now I'm going to dictate it specifically to my market, and it's going to reach people only in my market. That's a really good way to kind of approach things. Now, specifically, you can do that with Facebook. You can do that with Instagram. If you do that on the PPC side, that's going to be treated slightly different. You obviously can't really do that on most any other, kind of media. But those are the things that really matter the most. So when it comes down to it too, like the conversation is like, you really want to make sure that you're digging deep into questions. Don't be afraid to, do case studies and testimonials and stuff like that. That's all cool. That's all stuff that you should be doing anyway. That's marketing 101. But do video content that is built for YouTube that you can put on the YouTube platform. That's a 4 or 5 minute video doing a full video topic about the difference between a wholesaler and a realtor. Then you're going to chop out little clips from that and then point people back to the main clip in your call to actions. That's a really great way to treat social media as well. Interrupting this podcast episode to tell you guys that this podcast is managed and produced by Color Media Productions. Yes, shameless plug, that's my company. However, we do this for a lot of other people as well. Most people that we work with are in the real estate investing space. So if you're listening to this podcast specifically, you probably are a real estate investor, given it's called the REI Marketing Weekly. If you're somebody that either wants to start a podcast or you have one going and it's becoming a little bit of a hassle, you're looking to transition to somebody that works a little bit better with a fluid motion in terms of you get the recordings done and then they do everything else. Well, that's what we do. We do fully managed podcasts from start to finish, video, audio, show noting, the graphics, publishing, everything that goes into it. It's a full service business that we run here in a service for you as a real estate investor if you are running a podcast. Additionally, we also do social media and YouTube management as well. So all of that being on the organic side, if you are interested in learning more about working with us and just recording content with guidance and strategy set by myself personally, and then not doing anything else after that, where we're taking care of everything from start to finish, then make sure you go check us out at colormedia.com, CULLER media.com. Hit us up there and we can learn more about working together, hop on a phone call and see what we could do for you. Now back to the episode. There's one thing I really want to point out here is when you're doing these clips, when you're posting on social media, you have to make sure that you're not leaving out call to actions. That's a very big missed opportunity. I see a lot of people do. They'll put social media posts out there and give no call to action, and they think that, oh, I'm just delivering value. Yeah, but I like to bring up this rule that I've created that I see a lot of big influencers do that works really well, seems to work well, and it's worked well for my clients. The 90-10 rule. So theoretically, 90% of your content on a video should be value, entertainment, or information. That's what it should be. 10% of it should be a call to action. That's where you're pitching the advertising part of it, right? So if it's going to be treated as marketing, you need to advertise. But that being said, the way you frame it up is important, obviously. But let's just take, for instance, you're still doing that video topic that I'm talking about, difference between a wholesaler and a realtor. At the end, you might say, so if you think that this is a really good option for you and you would rather go the route of selling your house to a cash buyer, then make sure you click the link down below or visit our website at 123mainstreet.com or call our number, whatever your call to action is, wherever you want to send people. Some people want a phone call. Some people want them to go to a specific landing page on their website or whatever. Give that call to action. And then that gives them guidance, because if they do want to work with you, they know exactly where they're going to be going to, work with you. That's important. Don't miss out on that. You will miss out on leads if you do that. So please, every single piece of content that you do should have a call to action at the end in some way, shape, or form, right? Now, the other thing is that now where are we posting this content? Do we post on LinkedIn? Do we post on TikTok? Do we post on Instagram? These are some of the things that a lot of people really get mixed up. I'm going to go back to, so I can give you simple answers, but I want to go back to some principles. One of the core principles of marketing is, first of all, know your avatar, your target avatar, your demographic, whatever you want to call it. Part of that is knowing how and where they consume content, and that dictates the platforms. So, great example is if you're marketing for motivated seller leads, generally your leads aren't going to be on TikTok. Now, if you're an educator, if you have a coaching program, yes, you should be taking TikTok very seriously, maybe even LinkedIn very seriously. However, if you're marketing for motivated seller leads, that's a much different demographic. teenage demographic, people that are just scrolling for the hit of dopamine every single time they're watching a new video, that sort of thing. That's what it's meant for. Now, do you potentially have an audience there? Maybe. However, if you're only marketing for motivated seller leads, should you be putting posts on TikTok? I would say don't bother, but at the same time, if you're creating short form video content, generally it's going to be the same type of content you're putting on Instagram Reels, Facebook Reels, YouTube Shorts. Why not post it on TikTok? It's not going to hurt anything, but should you take it seriously? I'm going to say no. I don't know. I personally don't know anybody that's generating motivated seller leads on TikTok. Coaching students, people that come into the program, their masterminds, yes, absolutely. But motivated seller leads, I personally don't know anybody. And if you are somebody that's listening and you do generate motivated seller leads on TikTok, please hit me up because I want to get you on my podcast to talk about it. LinkedIn, that's one of those things where that could be one. It's all about how you treat the platform. LinkedIn's going to have a lot of business professionals. It's going to have a lot of realtors. Generally speaking, once again, I've been in this industry for 12 years. Not a lot of wholesalers hang out on LinkedIn. Not a lot of actual day-to-day active real estate investors hang out on LinkedIn. A lot of lenders do. A lot of private money, hard money lenders do. A lot of realtors do. That business professionals, corporate people, that's where they hang out. So the framing could be different, but marketing social media content to motivated seller leads on LinkedIn, generally that's going to be a no, right? So I'll go back to the core places that I would be putting it out. Facebook page, 100%. Google My Business page, 100%. YouTube platform, I would build that out 100%. Google My Business page, build that out as thoroughly as you possibly can, and you can upload video content as you go along on that Google My Business page. And that's going to really help with the media that's on that page for you, specifically help build your brand because people are going to check you out there. So those are some places that you definitely want to take seriously when it comes to social media content. Now, at the end of the day, the thing to be thinking about, and I'll wrap it up with this because I wanted to keep this episode a little bit short because it is a kind of a really, it's a topic that you just need to be testing out. You need to be working on putting social media content out, taking it seriously, and testing it. If your motivated seller lead marketing is geared towards that specifically, I'm giving you the exact answer of what you need to hear. So here's the thing. If you're generating motivated seller leads, these are the platforms you take seriously. Now, if you're working on other things like you're wanting to make relationships with wholesalers, realtors, that sort of thing, that's a totally different conversation, which we'll do another episode on for next week. So I'll make sure that we do that. But that would be more on the personal branding side. For the intended purpose that we're talking about here, you're building a brand specifically to buy people's houses. That's the way you want to treat it. And once again, maybe you are the face of the organization. That's totally cool. That's totally fine. However, people still need an organization to tie to them in order to be able to generate some form of brand awareness or sense of community within the market that you are operating in if you want to be that household name. So those are kind of my tips when it comes to generating motivated seller leads and marketing. I've worked with many people on their video content for social media in the active marketing space for real estate investors. This is what they do, and this is what they're highly successful in, is everything that I gave you today. Once again, go ahead and shoot as many videos as you possibly can, answering questions that your motivated seller leads have about what you do, and then you just disperse those. It's contextualized. Make sure that the video that you're putting out on Facebook is contextualized for Facebook. Make sure the Instagram video is contextualized for Instagram. Those are getting into more technical details in the weeds that we can maybe address on a personal phone call or whatever, but that's the way you want to make sure you're addressing those. Get them dispersed, get them pushed out. Frequency, I would just say as much as you possibly can. Now, if you can post 3 times a week, that's going to be a great amount for you to be able to get started and build on top of that. But what you don't want to do is start off with a daily post. Every single day you're posting on your business page, and then you drop off because you don't stay consistent with it, and then it's down to 3, and then it's down to 1, and then eventually you're not posting at all. Then you're literally going to be rebuilding from scratch what you had previously spent time on it building up. So start at a place where you think that you can manage that for a good amount of time, and then if you can sustain that for 3 or 4 months, build more on top of that. Go up to 3 posts a week, go up to 5 posts a week, then go up to daily, then 2 times a day, that sort of thing. And then once you get in a really good rhythm, then it's just gonna be on autopilot. You should have a team, somebody that's helping manage that social media and that sort of thing. So hopefully that helps you guys today. I know this is a really big looming question that a lot of real estate investors have. How should I be? I know I need to be on social media. How do I treat it? I just don't know where to go with it. I don't want to be a guru or an influencer or anything like that. And this is the way that you do it. It's no different than the way that you would advertise to somebody if you're on a phone call with them, if you're doing a billboard, if you're doing a TV ad. It's just the execution slightly different because it's a different platform and media that you're operating within, which is obviously the grounds of social media. So once again, I will put out there an offer if there's anybody that's listening and you do want to hop on a phone call with me to talk about your strategy specifically. Look, I'm an open book. I will give you everything that I possibly can, give you as much advice that I can that's contextualized to you, and I'm not going to send you an invoice afterwards. I'm not going to charge you for the time or whatever it is. I'm here to help people, and if you want to work with me after I've delivered that value, that's up to you. You can make that determination afterwards. There's no pressure, honestly. I'm more than happy to hop on anybody's, to talk about your strategies or whatever if you've spent some time listening to my podcast. So if you want to do that, seriously take advantage of it. Josh@colormedia.com, colored spelled C-U-L-L-E-R, colormedia.com, josh@colormedia.com. And I'd be more than happy to talk to anybody about their social media or video content game plans. So that's going to do it for today's episode. Thank you so much for joining. If you haven't already, make sure you have subscribed to the show. We are on YouTube, so make sure you go check the YouTube content out as well. We're going to be putting out a good amount of extra stuff that's going to be outside of the podcast here, so make sure you do go check that out as well. Just look for Josh Color, and then I'll pull up there, and you'll find me, all the content that's there. And then if you haven't already, make sure you have left a review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts with your honest feedback. I would love to hear that. Once again, thank you for joining, and we'll see you guys in the next one.